Other bit of news this week, Alfie, is that Johannes Spors has officially started. What a time to start. I guess it's going to be all about the summer for him now, and he's got a bit of a job on his hands.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least these two games have made it pretty clear to him that there's a lot to do. As we already know, I mean, he officially started on Saturdays. That was his first day based at Staplewood. He is in charge of the recruitment, so it will be him looking to improve on the squad. I mean, I've been speaking to the club a little bit about what they might do, and obviously they haven't divulged any specifics really, but they're not going to go on a summer splurge by any means. With hundreds, I saw a Saints Twitter account saying that we can now spend 100 million within PSR rules because of the loss from 2022-23 is being written off in the 3-year rolling period. That's not going to be the case. Not going to spend 100 million quid, but they are in a stronger position. They're going to be able to spend and improve the squad, but it'll be a calculated approach. But they're going to have to one mind on the fact that the squad cost ratio rules have now been delayed, so PSR is still in place next season. I think Southampton's permitted loss for the period will be 61 million quid because they spent 2 of the last 3 seasons in the FL. That shouldn't be a problem. It's all boring. It doesn't matter. They're not going to lose that much money, so they'll be able to do a bit. But then the squad cost rules come in next summer, and that's going to be 85% of revenue will be the maximum amount you can spend on wages and amortized transfer fees. Obviously, you can amortize transfer fees every few years, but basically the word from the club was it's not going to be an absolute splurge. They'll spend where they can to improve the current team. They're quite hopeful of keeping some of their players. I don't know who that means. Whether that means the likes of Paul Amo-Ameyaw, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, maybe. I don't know. I think we still...
Was he advertising that he's got a new agent this week?
Taylor Harwood-Bellis. I don't know if he advertised that, but they probably did.
It was his Instagram story, I think he shared that he had a new agent. So,
but the club are maintaining their stance that they will not sell players on the cheap. And if you could look back at the last championship season, they didn't sell players on the cheap. They're maintaining that again. They're not going to accept small offers of players, so they will only let players go. They insist if they get a decent offer for them. So there's every chance that some of those players they can keep hold of. So that would be a slight positive, I guess. But it's going to be interesting summer ahead. It's not going to be fireworks, but I'm hoping they can do a bit to improve the squad.
But it all comes back to our point earlier, Steve. We need to know who the manager is going to be, or they need to know, because they're buying players to fit a specific style.
I mean, I do kind of suspect that they know who they want to appoint, and that as a result, you can work around, what system that's going to entail. I mean, I don't think we're kind of breaching any secrets because it's all out in the open that we secretly approached Danny Roll in December, and Chansiri got very arsey about it, understandably.
Yeah, and he told everybody they're fans for him.
Yeah, exactly. So it's no secret that he was who we wanted, and I kind of think that it was weird that we went after him in December when, as we discussed, you've got 6 months where basically the only thing you can do is fail.
Yeah.
So actually now getting someone like him in the summer, and you do it immediately. Don't mess around waiting for when the league AGM changes. So I don't know whether there's similar clauses in Roll's contract with Sheffield Wednesday that Russell Martin had at Swansea. But let's not have this nonsense where you're waiting 3 weeks to appoint the guy. If you want to do it, get it done. And if that means you have to pay a little bit more, fine. That's the cost of doing business, and we know what the price is, so pay it. And you get it done, and everyone knows, everyone's on the same page. You know what system you're recruiting for. You know the attributes, the key attributes in key positions that you need to sign that are going to strengthen the team, so that you've got a strong chance of being not only a title contender for next season in the Championship, but also then gives you half a leg up, so that if you go straight back up again, we don't have to put up with this again next time around. We're a little bit better prepared, and we're able to then sign players who are just that slight level above and can integrate and can cope at that level. Because frankly, while you look at some of the signings we've made in the last year, 18 months, some of them have done fine, some of them have been an absolute disaster, and there's probably a little bit in between. But there's probably fewer hits than misses, I would say, in terms of being able to make the step up.
No, but you make a good point, though,
talking-
Steve. Like, I mean, Matty Fernandez, you're talking one of those who can definitely make the step up to the Premier League.
Yep.
Obviously, in the
Yeah.
Championship, I think there are other clubs in the Premier League who were amazed that Saints were able to sign Matty Fernandez genuinely in the summer because he was wanted by a lot of people. And you've got no hope in hell of getting him to join the second tier. So I think it's the right approach to keep some of your powder dry for the following summer, and then actually get those players that like you say can step up rather than lumbering yourself with a squad full of good Championship players. Again, may I say.
But there's also other players that we've signed and got rid of, and they've gone on to do all right at other clubs. So,
I mean,
Hello, Charlie. Hello, Charlie Alcaraz.
We'll see if that lasts.
And to be honest, I mean, I don't think we're going to keep Uric next season, but I'd be worried about losing more players that are going to be useful next year, like the lads we got out on loan.
Yeah.
Like Shay Charles and Ronnie Edwards seems to be doing very well at QPR by all accounts. And these are players that will, they're proving it in the league that we are going to be in next year. So we want to be as sure as we can be that we're not going to have another Nathan Teller situation where we end up losing them. So I think getting a manager in who is more in tune with the Championship, has been there before, and obviously if it is Danny Roll, he's had Shay Charles this season, so he obviously knows he's a good player. That would give me a sort of a more of a feeling of comfort that we would know what we were doing. Whereas if we carry down the road with this clown, it just scares me. If he just, and we end up with the Charlie Alcaraz situation again, where we've got a player who's obviously talented, but we've given up on him.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I don't want to see that. The wrong players leaving, basically.
The Ronnie Edwards one's funny though, because I mean I've seen a couple of people have responded to me saying, we've let our best centre back go out on loan. What we do, another madness decision. I mean, there's two things. Number one, clearly he clearly wasn't ready for this level, and he shouldn't be expected to be. He played League One last season, but it's actually good business to get him out on loan, get him playing for 6 months, get him confident, have him do well, and bring
scoring goals as well.
Yeah, don't look at Ronnie Edwards going out doing well, scoring the odd goal as he should be playing here. He should not be playing here, getting absolutely terrorized every weekend. He's doing just fine out there, and hopefully he'll come back and be useful to us next season.
Well, I think both him and Nathan Wood was signed for next season. I don't think either of them were expecting to play much, this season. And in Edwards' case, that's the way it's turned out. And Nathan Wood, as Steve said, he had a couple of decent games, but he's looked very, very shaky in others. And I think it's only because we've had the centre back injury crisis that he's anywhere near the squad. So no, it's definitely the right decision to loan Edwards out, especially as he didn't play a minute for the first team other than Carabao Cup at the earlier on in the season.
Also on Danny Roll, Steve, I don't know if you mentioned, but obviously Johannes Spors was the head of scouting at Leipzig at the time when Danny Roll was assistant manager. So for those people that love he knows the club and all this sort of stuff, he knows him. He's probably got his phone number. It makes it well easy.
It all makes sense. Get your money on it now.